Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening. We begin with breaking news out of Albany. Former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has been charged with a misdemeanor sex crime. The charges stem from an alleged groping incident that occurred in the governor's mansion in December of last year. A criminal complaint of the incident was filed a few months after Cuomo resigned from office. Cuomo resigned in August after an investigation concluded the governor sexually harassed multiple women. Attorney General Letitia James, who led the investigation into Governor Cuomo, is expected to announce her candidacy for governor later this week. James will likely contend with Governor Hochul for the Democratic nomination. Prior to the Cuomo investigation, James was known for her legal battles with former President Donald Trump. James is the first woman elected as New York's Attorney General and the first black person to serve in that role. Officials with the Department of Environmental Conservation are urging drivers to keep an eye out for deer. Deer are more active during the fall because it's mating season. Big Fox's Matt Kleindens joins us with some tips on the road.
Good evening, Ann. The further we get into fall, more deer sightings will become common along the roads, increasing the likelihood for accidents and more phone calls to body collision shops.
It's pretty much on the hour.
Employees at Gerber Collision say the phone lines get busy around this time of year, with drivers calling about accidents with deer.
We get several calls a day. Tow trucks bringing them in overnight. We're coming into quite a few in the morning, so it's just a constant ongoing.
Accidents with deer could result in major body damage, as an example with this Honda CR-V, which collided with a deer just off Route 13 near Elmira.
We've seen them as little as, $900 to $1,000, all the way up to, $15,000, $16,000. It just depends on, where you're at, rate of speed, and what's going on and, around you at that time.
The DEC says deer are most active during dawn and dusk and often travel in groups. So drivers are urged to reduce their speed if they spot a deer and drive with caution early in the morning and late at night.
Know your surroundings, just keep your eyes open. If you're in open field areas, just keep always alert, to everything around you.
Last year, 43% of all collisions with deer occurred between October and December. Matt Kleindens, Big Fox, WYDC in Corning.
President Biden met with House Democrats today as part of a last-minute effort to get his party united on increased federal spending. Mike Emanuel is in Washington with where the talks stand now.
President Biden arrived on Capitol Hill Thursday, hours before leaving for his second international trip.
Good day.
His visit to unify House Democrats on a pair of federal spending proposals and announce a framework for their reconciliation bill, despite weeks of stalled talks.
I can't tell you the mechanics of it, but the bottom line is we have to square up our proposal with this promise to pay for it.
Back at the White House, President Biden made the case for a smaller social spending proposal costing roughly $1.75 trillion.
No one got everything they wanted, including me. But that's what compromise is. That's consensus. And that's what I ran on.
But progressives have long insisted they won't support the Senate-passed infrastructure bill without a higher price tag for social spending.
If you look at what's in this bill, we are doing in this bill what has not been done in many, many decades in protecting the needs of working families, the children, our environment, climate change. It is really quite consequential, but I think it needs to be improved on.
Democrats are still proposing expanded health care programs, free pre-K, and funds for tackling climate change, but scrapped paid family leave, as well as a billionaire's tax plan.
It would be nice if we could just vote on infrastructure.
Without Republican support on social spending, Democrats cannot afford to lose any of the 50 votes in the Senate, and they need to hold their narrow majority in the House. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
If you're immunocompromised and got the Pfizer or Moderna COVID-19 vaccine, the feds want you to roll up your sleeves for a fourth time. Jonathan Seri explains from Atlanta.
Millions of Americans are now eligible for a fourth COVID vaccine shot. The CDC quietly changing its guidelines, saying if you're immunocompromised, you need 3 doses for Pfizer and Moderna's vaccines to be fully effective, meaning the fourth shot would count as the booster. The change comes amid a major push to get Americans to roll up their sleeves again, with officials saying boosters are a big part of containing the outbreak.
And we're working with states, pharmacies, and other partners to quickly, efficiently, and equitably get boosters to tens of millions of eligible Americans.
But as the push for vaccination intensifies, there is also a growing legal backlash, including a new lawsuit filed Thursday by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, taking aim at vaccine mandates for federal workers and contractors, saying they, quote, interfere with Florida's employment policies.
In the state of Florida, you have a right to earn a living, and it should not be denied to you based on these shots.
And in New York City, a judge rejected requests by police and fire officials to block vaccine requirements from taking effect on Friday, despite the fact that more than 40% of firefighters in the city remain unvaccinated.
You're going to see response times climb. It is inevitable. Lives are going to be lost. That is irrefutable.
House Republicans have also introduced legislation to block an upcoming vaccine mandate for businesses with more than 100 workers. In Atlanta, Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
Gender identity is no longer confined to just male or female on U.S. passports. Kevin Cork has more on the State Department's historic decision and the new travel rules you'll need to make sure to follow for your next trip.
It's the first U.S. passport with the X marker.
The State Department has issued its first ever gender-neutral passport, using the letter X in place of an M or F to indicate gender identity. Government officials are not disclosing who got the passport, but 63-year-old Dana Zim tells the Associated Press they received it.
We exist, and we all should be allies together in the fight for rights.
Zim is intersex, meaning they don't identify as either a male or a female. And while Zim knows who they are, they say receiving this document proves the government now also legally recognizes their existence. Meantime, for anyone else getting ready to use their passports, be prepared for new COVID-19 air travel rules. Starting November 8th, unvaccinated Americans will need a negative COVID test result 1 day before their flights. Those vaccinated still need one, but within 3 days. Foreign nationals, meanwhile, must also be fully vaccinated in order to fly to the U.S.
Exceptions to this policy will be extremely limited. Primarily, children under the age of 18 and certain individuals from countries where vaccines are not yet readily accessible.
As for the gender-neutral passports, the State Department says it hopes to offer them to more people once they update application software later next year. In Washington, I'm Kevin Cork, Fox News.
The cleanup is just beginning across several states following a line of severe weather. Thousands of people in the Southwest and Northeast are still without power. Robert Ray has more.
Cleanup efforts are underway across much of the country after a wave of severe weather on Wednesday. Dozens of homes are damaged across Texas and Louisiana after tornadoes and strong storms rolled through the region. Officials in Orange County, Texas, issuing a disaster declaration after an EF2 tornado with 120-mile-an-hour winds touched down. A possible tornado also rolling through nearby Harris County, north of Houston. Strong winds knocked out power and spread debris. One resident says she was inside her home when a tree fell on the roof.
I heard the winds coming, so I got right here, and I just knelt down because I heard a lot of glass shatter.
Meanwhile, thousands of people in the New England area remain without electricity after a nor'easter strengthened into a bomb cyclone off the coast. Wind gusts topped 90 miles per hour in parts of Massachusetts. Crews are now working to clear uprooted trees and downed power lines. Utility companies say it could take days to restore electricity.
In surrounding towns, they're also without power, so we're gonna wait it out and try to make the most of it. And right now we're just eating the oysters that are in my fridge before they go bad.
Here in Louisiana, there is significant damage to at least a dozen homes, and residents still reeling from 2 hurricanes in late 2020. In Lake Charles, Louisiana, Robert Ray, Fox Weather.
A migrant caravan is trekking its way through parts of southern Mexico as aid groups help some who are pregnant or severely dehydrated. Griff Jenkins has the latest from Mexico.
Chanting liberty, the caravan charges through a checkpoint as the Mexican National Guard stands by watching. The migrants, undeterred by Mexico's Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard, who says they are being deceived by the organizers.
They tell them, let's go in the caravan. We get to the U.S. and they will let us pass. It's not true. You saw what happened with the Haitians. It's the same thing.
But the warning isn't breaking the will of the migrants.
That's not stopping us, because we got the power of God right next to us, and he's going to open.
That is not going to stop us. We'll still proceeding. We will still moving. It's not going to stop us.
Although some migrants are worried officials will try and break the caravan.
Immigration is getting together to come and take a lot of people from here.
In the U.S., Attorney General Merrick Garland was asked about it in today's Senate hearing.
I would tell them not to come.
Organizers say the caravan is 4,000 strong now, with more than 1,250 children under 7, 400 between the ages of 17 and 18, at least 100 babies under a year. And 65 pregnant women are in the group, 3 of whom are past 8 months, as the journey is taking a toll after just 5 days.
A lot of people have blisters in their feet, and we're giving electrolytes. So there are a lot of children here, so they are dehydrated, and we see a lot of families in this caravan.
As for who's paying for this group, caravan leader and U.S. citizen Irenejo Mujica denies financial support.
It is the people of goodwill, like the churches or other people that give them food. If not, they share each other. I don't know, but I'm not getting funded.
Wherever the money is coming from, they're going to need a lot more of it, because at the rate they're traveling now, they won't even make it to Mexico City until sometime in mid-November. In Villa Camal-Titlan, Mexico, Griff Jenkins, Fox News.
Still ahead tonight, Halloween is this weekend, but people aren't the only ones going wild for this spooky holiday.
I'm Allison, or better known as Lydia Dietz, and this is my sweet little English bulldog. He's a love bug.
A look at how some adorable animals are celebrating, plus tips for pet parents about how to keep your furry friends safe.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Tonight's Big Fox forecast is brought to you by William Mattar. Good evening, everyone. Just a little bit warmer conditions today than yesterday. Those winds that were so blustery yesterday have eased up, and that's because high pressure is starting to build into the region. I think we'll enjoy another 24 hours of nice weather, but then it looks like rain will return by the end of the day on Friday. So today it was about a degree warmer, or at least this afternoon in Elmira, about 2 degrees warmer in Bath, 4 in Watkins Glen, about 5 in Wayland, as well as Wellsboro. Tomorrow we are expecting a little bit cooler conditions. Clouds will start to stack up, and that's going to limit our heating during the day on Friday. Showers will be possible in the afternoon, and it looks like there could be some heavy rain as we head into the latter part of your Friday, especially Friday night into Saturday, and it looks like maybe a steady rain through Saturday. So we could pick up anywhere between 1 inch to 2 inches in some of our locations. So we have a very slow moving low pressure system that is starting to eject out of the southeast. And so it will continue to bring moisture northward into our area, resulting in a few showers at the end of the day on Friday. And then on Saturday, it looks like maybe some more steady rain. So if you're trying to take a walk tomorrow, maybe you want to do it early, as I think we'll see drier conditions then. 49 degrees, mostly cloudy conditions at 9 o'clock. By lunchtime, around 54 degrees. Some of us might warm up into the 60s in the afternoon, and then we drop back down to around 52 degrees at 5 o'clock with the possibility of rain. Again, that rain would be pretty steady as we head into your Saturday. Again, we have a very slow moving low pressure system that would just hang out in the same place from Friday into Saturday, and that's going to keep the rain chances going for us as we start off the weekend. So let's take a look at our future radar, where we're finding rain coming in to the northern tier as we head into your Friday. By noon, it looks like some of these showers will start to move into Steuben County and also partially into Chemung County. And then around 6 o'clock in the evening, it looks like some heavy rain could be possible. This will continue through about 10 o'clock, and then shower activity scattered across our area during the day on Saturday. It's just going to be off and on rain Saturday. It's going to make things feel very dreary. It looks like we have more rain chances as we head into your Halloween. So here's a look at your forecast. Cloudy conditions through much of the day. Temperatures around 55 degrees at your lunch hour on Sunday, and then we drop down to around 50 degrees by 8 o'clock in the evening. So for tonight, it will be chilly, 45 degrees. Clouds will continue to increase. And then tomorrow, our high only around 56 degrees. Again, with those clouds increasing, it will limit our heating. Showers will be possible in the afternoon. We're going to stay cool through the weekend with highs in the upper 50s with chances of rain.
Delays to the supply chain are costing the nation's two largest automakers. General Motors and Ford are both going through losses as they experience delays to product deliveries. The global computer chip shortage has particularly hurt the auto industry. Compared to last year's third quarter, GM's income fell 40%, while Ford experienced a 23% decline from a year ago. Increased prices of vehicles have helped prevent losses from being worse. A discount airline has a new promotion with ultra-low fares. JetBlue has dropped some fares as low as $31. Now, you need to buy your ticket by tomorrow on the JetBlue website, and you can only travel before or after Thanksgiving. Now, if you use the JetBlue Reservation Center, you will be charged an extra $25 fee. JetBlue says the $31 fares are on 31 routes. Makes sense. The low fares can't be used for travel on Friday or Sunday, and the discounts end December 16th. Cigarette sales are on the rise. Data released by the Federal Trade Commission found nationwide sales increased last year to $203.7 billion. That's up from $202.9 billion in 2019. According to the FTC, this increase marks the first time that annual cigarette sales have gone up in 20 years. Though, according to the report, 2020 also marked an increase on cigarette advertising to around $7.84 billion. All of that spent on cigarette ads and promos last year, compared to $7.62 billion in 2019. Pending home sales or contracts for purchases declined 2.3% last month. Economists were expecting a modest increase. A lack of inventory has led to double-digit growth in home prices. Some potential buyers hitting the pause button on those home searches with intentions to resume next year. The pandemic buying frenzy has slowed as workers return to offices and schools reopen for in-person learning. Climate change has reportedly already started to wreak havoc on coffee bean production, but a new study suggests even the coffee that's hard to come by might not taste as good due to the climate crisis. Researchers found two major factors linked with coffee quality. That's high altitude and limited sunlight. Beans grown at higher elevations prosper because of the cooler temperatures, something that might be hard to come by if the earth continues to heat up. On the other hand, though, experts believe they can work around protecting crops from too much sun exposure. Researchers hope this study will highlight the importance in slowing the process of climate change for the sake of a good cup of coffee. Well, Halloween is right around the corner, but people aren't the only ones going wild for the spooky holiday. Ashley Strohmeyer has a look at how some adorable animals are celebrating, plus tips for pet parents about how to keep your furry friends safe.
Halloween is just as much for pets as it is for people. The National Retail Federation says shoppers will spend $680 million on pet costumes this year alone. And in the Big Apple, hundreds of dogs are putting those get-ups to good use during the 31st annual Tompkins Square Halloween Dog Parade.
I'm Allison, or better known as Lydia Dietz, and this is my sweet little English bulldog. He's a love bug.
But if you're planning a costume for your pet, the ASPCA recommends doing it safely. The organization says outfits can cause animals unnecessary stress, adding make sure costumes don't restrict your pet's movement or breathing. and that there's no loose pieces they can choke on.
Happy Halloween!
Meanwhile, over in South Korea, the hit Netflix show Squid Game is serving as an inspiration for this Halloween dog treat cooking class, where characters and challenges from the series are being gobbled up.
It's so much fun, and seems like he loves it too. Do you want more?
But it's not just pets getting to have all the fun. Exotic animals at England's Chester Zoo are digging into their goodies. Staff filled pumpkins with fruit and fish for meerkats, Komodo dragons, pythons, and more. And back in the States, pumpkins weighing several hundred pounds are serving as piñatas for the Oregon Zoo's elephants. If you are looking for a last-minute costume for your pet, the National Retail Federation found the most popular ones include a pumpkin, hot dog, superhero, or bumblebee.
Newlyweds take wedding photos at the place where it all began, a Subway sandwich shop. A Michigan couple traces the steps of their relationship back to the Michigan Subway where they met and snapped some photos to commemorate their wedding day. Julie Bouchard-Williams and Zach Williams met at this same exact restaurant in 2017 when both were there for lunch. Thanks to Subway and Julie's mom for handing Zach her number, the world has one more beautiful couple. Julie and Zach dated for 4 years before tying the knot last Friday. Subway was happy to share in the day organizing this professional photo shoot and, of course, catering the after party. Well, the saga of Joe Exotic continues, and Chris Evans is suiting up to voice an iconic character. Here's Ashley Vorkin with the latest from the Hollywood Nation.
Buzz Lightyear blasts off, Bieber scores, and Tiger King roars in the Hollywood Nation.
There's an innocent man in prison.
The next chapter to Netflix's big cat drama, Tiger King 2, is almost here. Ahead of its premiere November 17th, the streaming giant released a first-look trailer to the much-anticipated sequel, promising new revelations on some of the memorable characters from Season 1. Netflix also released the trailer to Kevin Hart and Wesley Snipes' brotherly drama, True Story. The limited series follows a famous comedian who returns home to Philadelphia during a tour stop, where a bad night out with his brother threatens to destroy his career. It premieres November 24th. Chris Evans goes to infinity and beyond in Disney Pixar's animated sci-fi adventure Lightyear. Evans is the voice of Buzz Lightyear in the film that tells the origin story of the fictional astronaut who inspired the iconic toy in the classic Toy Story movies. Tim Allen voiced Buzz in all the previous films. It arrives in theaters June 17th, 2022. And nominees for the 2021 People's Choice Awards have been announced. Justin Bieber leads all music categories with 10 nominations, including Male Artist of 2021. Dominating the film categories is F9 The Fast Saga with 8 nominations. Leading the nominees in the TV categories is This Is Us with 6 total. The ceremony will air on both NBC and E December 7th.
The world is a resilient place.
And we're ending tonight on a sweet note. How does that sound? Listen, models hit the runway for the grand return of the chocolate fair in France. Paris's chocolate fair was canceled last year due to the coronavirus pandemic. Models wore chocolate-themed dresses during a parade to mark the start of the event set to return through next week. The event is regarded as the start of the holiday season and a time when chocolate makers see an increase in production and sales.